So, Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim producer implies film wears the Lord of the Rings as a skin suit, like some sort of Buffalo Bill figure. Make sure it puts the lotion on its skin. Philippa Boyens, a co-writer on Peter Jackson's beloved Lord of the Rings trilogy and a producer on the upcoming War of the Rohirrim animated film, revealed another massive uh, change the film is making compared to Tolkien's original story. In Tolkien's original story, this chick had like one sentence to her, and she wasn't even named. But now her name is Hera, and she's a huge figure in the movie. She is one of the reasons her father is able to succeed. She is the leader of an all-female group of brave warriors who are going to take down the evil men. Speaking with Animation Magazine, Boyens claims one of the main themes of the film is asking the question, at what point will reason overcome the insanity? We've been asking this ourselves for years, for years now. When will reason finally take hold of just all the crap going on? It's a question she should have been asking herself, given Hollywood continues down a path of insanity by ignoring faithful adaptations and choosing to inject loved stories with immoral messaging, whether that be feminism, identity politics, or gender ideology. In this case, like I said, she's leading an all-girls warrior group, and she's going to take charge and protect her land, despite the fact that in Tolkien's work, she only has like one sentence spoken about her, and she doesn't even have a name. She didn't even have a name. To prove the point, Boyens went on. Our antagonist Wolf literally turns on his main general and says, "You think I want to be here?" He literally can't let go of this. Um, he can't let go of the siege or will to conquer these people and destroy them, even though it would be the wiser course, and he's already won. For those unfamiliar with Tolkien's story, which is found in the Appendix A of the Return of the King, Wolf does not turn on his main general after he leads an army of Dunelings, and enemies of Gondor against Rohan, and he certainly has not won the war yet. In fact, after defeating Hammerhand, and the forces of Rohan in battle at the crossings of Ison, he splits his army, with half pursuing Hammerhand to the Hornburg and the other half heads to Edoras. Wolf leads the forces to Edoras and takes the city. Tolkien wrote, Wolf took Edoras and sat on the Meduseld and called himself king. There, Aelith Helm's son fell, last of all, defending the doors. As for the forces at the Hornburg, a siege is conducted with a long winter is coming. With long winter sets in, and Rohan is covered in snow for 5 months. That causes both Helm's defenders as well as the invading army to suffer losses from the cold and lack of provisions. Furthermore, Wolf is defeated in Edoras after the winter broke from Freylaf, the nephew of Helm, came down from the Dunharrow to which many had fled, and with a small company of desperate men, he surprised Wolf and Meduseld and slew him, and regained Edoras. This is the latest and growing list that indicate this film is using the name of Lord of the Rings as a skin suit rather than being even tangentially related to Tolkien's work. Like, if you're gonna make your own story, like, don't name it Lord of the Rings. Like, if you're gonna have this girl power type thing, don't. Especially when this character that you're focused on had nothing to do in the story. She didn't even have a name. That's how unimportant this character was. Things, they could say, oh, well, things kind of got started because of her and blah, blah, blah. But if she was that pivotal to the story, she would have at least had a name, but she didn't. Um, because they weren't happy about, people are not happy about just, oh, Eowyn and Galadriel and, Arwen. No, no, no. We need as many girl bosses in Lord of the Rings as possible. Despite that, I mean, Galadriel alone, she doesn't even have to do anything. She can literally just stand there and people cower before her. If that doesn't radiate and uh not the pinnacle of girl boss, I don't know what is. She doesn't even have to do anything. She simply comes out and she can stare at you and you will cower in fear. If that's not a girl boss, I don't know what is. But she's still kind. She's still kind. She's still respectful. She doesn't treat you like you're stupid. She doesn't belittle you. But she is so powerful that she can bring men to their knees just by looking at them. Because she is that old, that ancient, and that powerful that she doesn't even need to do anything. But no, now they want a bunch of, oh, girls have the weapons and we're taking on the evil patriarchy and look at us, girl power. You know, women who are all, putting the men in their place and, having to make up for the shortcomings of men. But then you have people like Arwen and Galadriel and Eowyn, where, yes, they were very strong, but they were also able to be vulnerable. They were allowed to be women still. These girl bosses really aren't allowed to be women anymore. They're supposed to be basically dudes, And that's one reason why people loved Eowyn. She was very fierce. She was fierce and she was strong, but she was also vulnerable and she had no problems opening up and crying. That's how you write a woman. That's how you write a true girl boss, someone who is strong, but isn't afraid of accepting help. None of this, oh, well, I don't need no man. I don't need no man. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly back in June, Boyens explained why they chose to make an unnamed character. And there you go. She was unnamed. She had such little to do in the story. She didn't even have a name. Character in Appendix A, the main protagonist of the film. In the appendices where the story is drawn from, we get these quite interesting drawn male characters, and then we get this young female character who's never named. And that was really interesting to me. We know Helm has a daughter, and we know that she was central part of yeah, like I said, but she didn't even have a name. And we know that she was central to the conflict that happened. But myself, and especially screenwriter Phoebe Gittins, were drawn to her. We could feel the weight of being that unnamed daughter, which immediately piqued our interest. Who was she? How did she live? Who is your daddy? What does he do? There we go. There was also a report from Drew Taylor at the Warp, or the Wrap. I thought I said the Warp. That claims that Hera, the female protagonist of the film, is able to ride horses and commune with the great, oh god, the great eagles. Of course they'd give her the power to do that. Of course. Furthermore, she calls on the power of seemingly long lost tribe, on the power of a seemingly long lost tribe of female warriors. Like I said, this all female group. She becomes the leader, and like, oh, we're gonna girl power. A recent clip of the film also shows Wolf acting in the manner that Boyan describes. It also shows Hera absurdly challenging Wolf to single combat, but she's a strong woman, so she'll easily defeat him. Just like Galadriel in Rings of Power. Somehow one small woman is able to defeat, 5-6 Numenorians within like 2 seconds. Numenorians. Or an ice troll in like the matter of 10 seconds. You know how cave trolls are really, really big and scary? Well, ice trolls are even bigger, and she just took one down in 10 seconds. So I have a feeling that it'll be a long, vigorous battle, but she's going to come out victorious in the end. Um, to make things matter worse, after Wolf rightfully mocks her and derides her challenge, he eventually accepts the challenge despite advice to the contrary from an advisor or a general. It begs the question, at what point will reason overcome the insanity? Oh, yeah.
Let us end this, Wolf, as it began, with you and I. If I best you in combat, you let my people go.
Why would I...
Let my people go.
agree to such terms? You have nothing to offer me!
You may wear a crown upon your head, but that does not make you a king. You were too much of a coward to face my father. So face me now.
The girl is clever. She is up to something. Do not take the bait.
I accept your challenge! You think I am afraid of you?
You should be.
It's in that moment that the bridge collapses and she falls to her death. And everything is put back into place just as it should be. She remains the unnamed daughter, and Wolf goes on to reign. All hail King Wolf. But you should be. You know, that seemed forced. When Eowyn did that whole with the, I am no man, it was actually kind of a funny moment because, the Witch King was like, no man can kill me. And it's like, clearly I'm not a man, I'm a woman. It wasn't like what they consider it nowadays, be like, oh, it's a proclamation of my womanhood and I'm strong and powerful. No, the Witch King assumed it was a man. She takes off her helmet to say, I'm no man. I'm actually a woman. So technically, you're saying no man can kill you? Well, I'm a woman, so... But nowadays, people, these people are looking at that like, oh, that was a girl power moment. No one's saying anything about that, but that, or they say something more along the lines of, oh, well, if that came out now, everyone would be complaining about it. No, it would still be seen as like the Witch King thinking that the soldier they see before them is a man, and he says, oh, no man can kill me, only to be revealed to be like a woman. And you're like, ha, clever. But this just, this is the stuff that seems forced. Like, I'm not afraid of a woman. And it's like, oh, you should be. Because we are strong. We are powerful. We are mighty. And what other crap they want to say. But, like I said, people like Galadriel, Eowyn, Arwen, amazingly written. They're amazing characters. Galadriel, able to bring a guy to, people to their knees just by standing in their presence. She just has to stand there. Arwen, we see her. She's tough. She's fierce. But when she's with Aragorn, what happens? She opens up. She becomes emotional. She trusts him enough and sees him as an equal. They see each other as equals. Eowyn, also with Aragorn. Aragorn makes his way around, doesn't he? But same thing. With, when she's training with her sword and, they have that little back and forth and, he's asking her, then what do you fear? And she opens up and she's very blunt about it. And she's, those women embody what a boss bitch or strong women would be. And of course, I'm talking about this and people are still going to think that like, I'm some woman-hating incel when I'm defending these female characters, which just shows that people aren't actually listening to what I say. but they're such well-written characters. But now we have all these female characters coming out that are written for the sole purpose of putting the man in their place. And I bring this up all the time. If you look at commercials, something, commercials or shows or movies or whatever, you'll see it's just like this common scenario where, the guy does something stupid because, duh, me dumb, me not know how to do things with that woman creature. And the woman's just like, we have to do everything for you men. And it's been something for early 90s. You started seeing it. But it's just more prominent now. Basically, every dude is treated like he's a dum-dum. Because this whole idea of a girl power and, oh, women are strong. Yeah, they are strong. But you don't have to strip everything away from them that makes them womanly to make them strong. Having Galadriel come out and people bowing and getting on their knees because of her elegance, her beauty, her strength, even though she's not physically asserting that strength, you know who she is. You know what she's capable of. Arwen, that moment with the river, fighting the Nazgul, shows you how powerful she is. Of course, in the movie, it's her. If I remember in the book, it's actually Elrond who does it. But we're talking about movie Arwen. She's making the water rise. You have this whole herd of freaking water horses wiping out the Nazgul. Well, not wiping them out, but washing them away. And then not too long after that, she and Aragorn are talking about, when they first met and, loving each other and embracing each other. So you see this very strong woman, but she's also very womanly still. She's not afraid to open up. But Hollywood, they don't care about that anymore. Who cares about good writing? Girls need to be boss bitches. Screw men. And it just shows that that's the kind of thing they're looking for, because they're taking a character that had no name, one sentence about her really, and making her like this prime focus. This would have been a great story if you didn't have Lord of the Rings slapped on it. This would have been perfectly fine as its own, separate thing. But they had to slap Lord of the Rings on it before, for name recognition. Oh, Lord of the Rings. The Rohirrim. You mean from What? I need to see it. Because that sells a lot better than some kind of typical medieval type setting. So anyway, I mean, it looks nice, but I'm just so sick of just poorly written characters for the sake of, oh, we need to make sure she's a girl boss, or we need to make sure this character is this. You don't need to. Women can be strong and empowered, but you don't have to make them sacrifice their femininity to do it. And again, here I am defending women, and people will still say that I'm some fucking woman-hating incel or some shit because people don't want to listen to what I'm actually saying. So congratulations, you college-educated individuals. You're just proving that you're not nearly as smart as you like to think you are. Good job. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. That's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.